Hello, what is up ladies and gentlemen, it is I, the one and only Maxi here, and I am from the likes of the Maxi Toys videos, as always ever been. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Wario Land 2 for the Game Boy / Game Boy Color. So last time we have managed to able to completely done with the forms of the final main chapter, which is of course in Syrup Castle, and along the way we did manage to able to collect 5 more treasures as well as the forms of the 5 more map pieces and all that stuff. So yeah, today for this episode in particular is the fact that we're going to be hitting on to the forms of a newer playthrough. And this time we're going to go on to the forms of, you notice on the forms of the treasure map that there's going to be some blank spaces here. Meaning about the fact that there's going to be some secret exits to be found. Meaning that it allows you to able to go into the next alternative levels and all that stuff. But before we get into this though, this is what how the treasure map looks like. You can actually go into any stages as you want to now. So meaning about the fact that you can now able to actually go to any levels you go to. So yeah, that's pretty awesome and top notch at the same time. So because of this though, yeah, let's hit back into the very beginning of the game again. Except now, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. While skipping this little cutscene here, while we're going back into chapter 1 in story 1, turn off the alarm clock. Instead of able to actually just to move the directional pad or just do anything, well, just do nothing, and that's how the level ends. Even though despite the fact that you don't get coins if you accomplish that. So because of that, this is where we're able to introduce into ourselves the alternative chapter 2. So either way though, we'll show those off in touring right now. So in this case, let's go all the way to the right and get this thing started. So either way though, let's begin alternative chapter 2. In this case, it does remind me like a what if scenarios basically. So because of this, let's see what happens in this scene right here. So it looks like those Captain Syrup's minions are about to try to take Wario right here while he was asleep. And I'm guessing he's trying to able to toss Wario out of this castle. Oh, I get it. For revenge, I suppose? I see what you mean there. I see what you mean right there. So it looks like that Wario's about to head back, and it turns out that his castle is being taken over by, what else? Captain Syrup herself. So it's up to Wario to stop her for good. So anyways, let's get into the forms of Chapter 2, Invade Wario Castle, and story number 1 is to the castle. So because of that, we need to go back there while we're navigating through the woods, apparently. So we can expect we can able to actually do what else? Some more exploration, and especially noticeable, just grabbing even more coins to top it off. So yeah, today's day is of course the 14th of June today, in this case in 2021. Now, remember what I said back in the forms of in Friday, the 11th of June, that originally I was expecting that I could able to actually get something exciting when it comes to like E3 announcements. Well, turns out I was wrong, and especially noticeable that it's a good thing that Mighty the Armadillo hasn't mentioned something Nintendo related just yet from the likes of Mario Party 5, and then it's only when it gets to the point he will mention more about it until let's just say until specifically this weekend specifically on Saturday and Sunday essentially, then we can probably able to actually let Mighty will able to mention more about it. So anyway, because we were expecting if that was a bit of an accidental thing to mention, and that is of course I was expecting to see more Nintendo stuff from the likes of Saturday or Sunday, but I was wrong, because obviously we got ourselves the Nintendo Direct until tomorrow. So because of that, at least I'm excited for that. So even then though, and as far as for that particular focus of the Nintendo Direct E3 for this year this time, is going to be, well, at least as far as I can usually guessing this correctly, it is something to do with tuning for the Nintendo Direct with roughly 40 minutes, so it's like 10 minutes lesser than the forms of the February Nintendo Direct, so that's fine I guess. Of info focused on exclusively on Nintendo Switch software, meaning like more announcements to make, and mostly releasing in this year in 2021. So at least that's something I was looking forward to, and looking forward by around 3 hours of gameplay of Nintendo Treehouse Live. So yes, Nintendo Treehouse Live is going to be back, and it's going to be able to be, yeah, you know, expecting to be came out in the same time as Nintendo Direct in this year's E3. So at least we've thankfully got ourselves some E3 stuff still, especially noticeable after the massive disappointment with the forms of 2020 was. But I digress. Okay, it looks like I'm not doing that great at it, but hopefully I will keep trying. But do I have to do just that? Although I do know there might be something alright, but either way though, it has been 3 days since I actually did manage to touch this game, so because of this though, maybe because I just managed to able to let Mighty the Armadillo to try to take over the forms of Mario Party 5 for a bit, so either way though. And also something's worth mentioning though is the fact that when it comes to the forms of some predictions for Nintendo though, I'm pretty sure I've already mentioned about this ever since on Friday, the 11th of June specifically. So because of that though, also as far as I like to point things out right away is the fact that well, as far as the forms of the next two parts of this Let's Play is concerned, well, until eventually, specifically until next week, because obviously until next week, or next Wednesday specifically, Sonic the Hedgehog will be 30 years old for the sake of this year, obviously, even though we've already had Sonic Central Direct ever since about a month ago almost, and we think we might as well able to do a special celebration video for the sake of you Sonic fans out there, which I'm probably not going to spoil anything just yet though, just because obviously that you'll stay tuned for that specifically until next Wednesday. And we figure we might as well able to continue our parts of Wario Land 2 at some point, well, let's just say, well, one part in the forms of the usual Monday, and another part is going to be expecting to be up until next Tuesday, once when Sonic will able to finish up his Let's Play of Super Monkey Ball on the GameCube. So because of that, and what else I'm gonna say? Oh yeah, and maybe one on Thursday, or maybe one on Friday. Oh yeah, because of the forms of Super Monkey Ball is also getting an anniversary as well. But again, we'll talk more about that whenever we get on to, let's just say, until next Thursday. Because I was originally gonna be able to do the double upload when it comes to those two celebrations, but I might try to keep it separate from now on, just because obviously you need to get these views alike. Especially noticeable how the fact that this might be a perfect opportunity to able to actually celebrate those particular amazing franchises as far as we most likely are aware of. So either way though, we'll try to able to predict that exponentially. So either way though, let's just go ahead and try this section again. So let's just see if how... Oh wait a second, this doesn't work. I have no idea what I'm doing, especially noticeable how the fact that I just keep on messing around and all that stuff like I was about to almost get drunk related as you saw. But, even though I was expecting to be able to do a lot of editing to have to deal with for the sake of this, but I have no idea what words I can usually describe it for, so anyways, this, I have no idea. I absolutely have no clue what I'm supposed to do. In fact, this wasn't it after all, so, yeah, let's just go back in there. And I do definitely know how do I supposed to figure this out. Is that basically rather than just actually, and let me try that again because I absolutely have no idea what I just did right there. But thankfully we would able to succeed without even getting touched by that little weird object as what they're trying to toss about. And yeah, anyway, instead of doing the forms of small tossing like I just did, so instead, we're gonna have to able to just do a massive power throw right there, and basically that's how you're supposed to do. So, yeah, forgive me if I do manage to able to do not know what I was expecting it to do, and because of that though, it has been a few days, so I do apologize for that. So, anyways, let's go on normal again, and to, you know, save up some more coins for, you know, the actual, more treasures to become, and also, the actual matching number game, of course. So, I believe it was actually on the 4th slot, so there we go. Nicely done, nicely go. Well, I have no idea why I'm saying things weirdly enough, but still, isn't that the actual capsule peel from the likes of Dr. Mario? although it does remind me of that, even though despite the fact that I no longer have Dr. Mario World, because as far as I can tell, that it might be the most uninspired, or, well, I have no idea why I say things weirdly enough for this point today, because I know that I'm guessing I must have been sweating a lot throughout the whole entire day, even though I haven't activated my fan for quite some time. But I will promise you guys I will activate my fan at some point later on throughout the day, once I've done with my recording sessions on this. So, yeah, I do apologize for that. So, anyway, also another thing I just want to point out today is that I recently managed to finally get back onto playing Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U version. Well, not so much on the Switch though, just because I've obviously 100% everything in the game now. So I'm basically now moved on to, well, moved backwards for a bit, in, depending on what version you'll be playing, that I'm basically now back on the Wii U version, because why? First of all, I haven't touched the Wii U version for quite some time since the actual Let's Play of the game, and, also to top it off is the fact that, usually, relatively speaking, it's just the fact that I've managed to actually, almost done with the forms of the majority of the Mario Kart games for 100% completion. Even though, mind you, I did manage to accomplish certain games, like, obviously, Mario Kart 64, Super Mario Kart, a little bit on Mario Kart Super Circuit, despite the forms of no nighttime variation, but that's okay because it's optional, and Mario Kart Double Dash for completing every single cups, and even especially noticeable with the forms of Mario Kart DS for the sake of the forms of unlocking everything. Oh yeah, if you're probably wondering what's up with that different color scheme, well, that's only because it's more likely a tutorial system from the likes of some changes with the forms of the number matching game. Meaning about the fact that, as you can tell, that rather than just able to keep on pressing the A button to draw a panel, so instead the actual thing will do it for you automatically. So because of that, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of money wasting if you try to accomplish certain things like this. And I'm pretty sure that tutorial scene is only happens on the Game Boy Color version, if I recall correctly, whilst compared to the original Game Boy version, from what I've heard, they just completely skip the actual tutorial segments instantly, as far as what I've seen several Let's Plays like this, but anyway, I'm guessing this is 3. Yeah, it's definitely 3, because I can see that little, no lines on the 4th grid, so thankfully we managed to accomplish that at least. So there's our 26th map piece right here. So yeah, we're actually getting quite close at this point. So either way, though, I can't even believe that we actually briefly went for this. So Story 2, Storm the Castle, which we're actually kind of doing the same thing as in Syrup Castle, except now that we're actually going to be storming through Wario's castle itself. So meaning about the fact that we can able to actually just well, trying to go in here and then just trying to stop several of enemies, I suppose, but either way, yeah. So anyway, another thing is worth noting for is the fact that, what else I'm gonna say? Oh yeah, I managed to also go onto the forms of Kirby Power Paintbrush recently for the Nintendo DS to actually get used to with the game, and especially noticeable that I'm also able to try to aim for the 100% completion as well. Even though, mind you, it might actually took me some time to actually do all this stuff, mainly due to the fact that much like in, well, let's just say in the forms of Super Mario 3D World, and as well as Super Mario 3D Land, you have to complete a certain amount of stages with multiple characters and all that stuff, which, spoiler alert, they only contain like, I would say 5 of these playable characters, which is, obviously Kirby himself, and also Meta Knight, King Dedede, Waddle Dee, and even Waddle Doo. So even then, that's quite a lot of playthroughs you're gonna have to sift through. So because of that, yeah, I might try to do that on my own time though, just to try to get some practices with the controls of the game. And then if we get enough practice for it, assuming if I was trying to do the 100% completion, maybe we can probably do a Let's Play of that at some point in the future. Not now though, just because obviously we are still in the middle of the process of Wario Land 2, which at this point we're actually now on the halfway point of the game already, and also that's Sonic the Hedgehog, he's pretty much going to be working on Super Monkey Ball 1 recently so far, And also, Mighty the Armadillo, he's working on Mario Party 5, meaning that he's basically done 2 boards so far. So even Nendo expecting that he would able to do the 3rd board at some point in this weekend, which hopefully he'll mention more details about, you know, so a whole bunch of E3 announcements and all the other jazz, specifically for Nintendo and all the other jazz. I just realized I managed able to get 374 coins recently, probably due to the fact that that rare silver coin managed to show up and then managed to able to, well, trying to able to give my coins a bit of a boost. So thanks for that. Even though it still feels a bit randomizable at each time whenever that happens. So anyway, oh jeez, this section where you're gonna have to dodge those little skull-like spikes obstacles, as you can see. But either way, hopefully we're able to bypass these, assuming if we don't mess up with our jumps and all that stuff, as you saw. But either way, we'll try it again. Time our jumps carefully, make sure don't mess this up. Okay, there we go, there we go, there we go. There we go, that's quite nice. Alright, so we do definitely need a fire transformation in order to progress, and sure enough, that fire-like fox-looking enemy will able to be up there, so we definitely need to, God knows we're able to burn ourselves to able to progress to, like, you know, destroy these fire blocks, so yeah, sure, it sounds about right. And we'll get in the water, so just in case we'll go back into our normal form of Wario, so oh yeah, let's talk about the forms of more stuff about the forms of Nintendo related thing. Now, I've already mentioned this earlier, that thankfully Nintendo Direct has been confirmed for this year's E3, and it turns out it's going to be until tomorrow, in the 15th of June. And similar to the forms of the past years, ever since, well, let's just say digital events in 2013 and 2014, 15, 16, Nintendo Spotlight in 2017, and heck, even with the forms of Nintendo Direct in 2018, E3, along with 2019, is obviously once again gonna take place in Tuesday, so I might be alright with this. Especially noticeable, I'm still gonna be hyped for it still, even though it's kind of ashamed I spoke too soon to able to actually not realizing that the actual date has been confirmed for somewhat later on, as opposed to 12th of June and even 13th of June. So because of that though, I'm guessing me and Mighty were kind of unlucky at that point, even especially noticeable for Sonic anyway. Well, at least as far as trying to mention certain things, so oh well, not the end of the world, but at least we still got enough time to able to actually just to mention more about it and doing at some point. So, including myself, for the likes of going back into Wario Land 2, and even especially noticeable for Sonic, for going back onto Super Monkey Ball, and especially noticeable in Mario Party 5. Although, I'm sure Mighty will mention a lot of things on Mario Party 5, so oh dear, it looks like I'm gonna have to do some sort of like an enemy bounce kind of syndrome, aren't I? Because we still need to deal with the forms of crumbling platforms, of course, so we can able to expect to able to deal with that. So hopefully we would be able to just climb up and oh jeez. Sometimes the annoying thing is though, is the fact that sometimes I always get bumped quite easily, but it knows what it is for the most part, and I just keep on messing things up because of crumbling platforms showing up. But thankfully you can able to retry them because those crumbling platforms respawn, so that's a good thing at least. Alright, so looking good so far. Okay, there we go. Now we pass through that section. So either way though, I bet there might be a treasure room in here somewhere, which is over there I think. So hopefully we would be able to find a way to do this. And how do we get there? Well, turns out that you notice there's actually some bat makers return right here, meaning that we can now able to get ourselves flattened right here ever since the first chapter. So, and I believe we do need to go, yeah, we do need a regular Wario to able to punch for those little jars. So, let's go here. I didn't make it. But at the very least, I can able to, oh, that's actually a pretty good landing skills right there. Especially it really helps because I'm pretty sure this is a section that it actually pretty much leads me to the treasure room. So, is it? Yes, it is. So, how convenient that is. So, awesome. Alright, suffice to say, let's go on normal again, so just in case we can able to save us some cash for, you know, at the end game anyway. And we need to look out for this one-eyed monster, so it appears to be on the 6th slot, so 6th slot as it goes, so there we go. Nicely done, and that was our 27th treasure, so awesome. Still got a whole ways to go for this point, so we still got a whole ways to go when it comes to this entire process going. So either way though, let's just go and continue things on here. And by the way, something's worth mentioning as well when it comes to Nintendo Direct for this E3, that is definitely happening tomorrow, that I suppose that me, Mighty, or Sonic for that matter haven't mentioned about. That is about to likely, oh yeah, we still need to acquire flattened Wario in order to make it to progression for that point right there. But thankfully it's quite easy if you manage to able to know what you're doing. So like, for instance, let's not jump and just go all the way to the right, and boom, there we go. And that is where the end of the level is. So yeah. I'm almost expecting to able to get like 500 or more, but of course I've already wasted 100 coins from that, you know, that treasure room and such, but that's okay. And I was off by 1 coin for able to go back to 1700, but oh well, no big deal. But at least we're still going to be able to do this anyway, so yeah, the amount of coins you'd be betting is automatic, so because of that, now it's your option is to able to press the B button to pick the answer. So in this case, 7 is the answer. So yeah, lucky 7, of course. So either way though, we got ourselves the 27th piece of the actual map. We're still very curious to see what that map is going to lead us to, I wonder. But then again, we'll find out briefly more about it until at the end of this month, potentially speaking. So anyway, story 3, defeat the giant spearman. Again. Even though generally this might actually be the very first time that we can able to actually technically beat the giant spearman. Well, at least according to the plot significance or something like that. Or maybe something more related to the another alternative chapter, which I think we should probably save that up for later. Or something like that anyway. So anyway, let's just go ahead and go for a serious amount of rooms. Yeah, this place is going to be filled to the brim with these a whole bunch of rooms to explore. So because of that, yeah, we're going to have to do a lot of exploration here. So sometimes certain doors can either lead you to a small room and then just gives you a whole bunch of coins, whilst other times it actually just takes you to the forms of a misdirect thing right there. So, oh yeah, and one last thing before I mention about the forms of well, the Nintendo Direct E3 2021 is about to be happening tomorrow. For the UK time, it was expecting to be able to be releasing and during at some point at 5 o'clock in the UK time. Whilst compared to any other country time zones, the time zones are completely different from one another. So, which to be expected by this point. So, either way though. And still hyped for that. So either way though, in fact, leave it on the comments below for the question of the day. Are you still excited when it comes to the forms of Nintendo E3 2021? Because now that the Direct is now a thing, just like the forms of how it does it in 2018 and 2019. Even though, mind you, not 2020 because that year sucks. So, but you know, you get the suggestion, so... As you can tell, I'm having some struggles with this particular enemy bounce right here, but that's okay, because we're able to expect to grab even more coins from there, and there's also some more Wario coins from over there, but either way though, if I do manage to able to get enough chance by able to just obtain them, that's as if, nah, I don't feel like I just got this successfully, so, oh well, we'll just leave and then just go explore the next few rooms. So, I might be alright with that, so... Alright, so... let's break those blocks just in case we can able to double check on certain things. And there's sure is just coins over there. Oh, is that the treasure room? Oh, okay, that's actually quite early to able to find that. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. So, in this case, we'll go for hard mode, and we need to find this mole-like particular creature. So, whereabouts is it? Oh shoot, I wasn't paying attention. Is it on the 3rd slot? Yes, it's on the 3rd slot. Whew. That's a good thing I did manage to able to have my blink in the eye, and we somehow got Yoshi's egg? I mean, what is this? Like, we somehow managed to look after baby Yoshi inside? Or, to be more specifically, it almost reminds me of the egg of the windfish from the likes of Link's Awakening, despite the fact that it's not yellow or pink spots, and it's just usually just white and green spots. You know, just like the actual Yoshi's egg. So, that seems kind of cool, I guess. By the way, with those segments right there, until whenever we get to the finale portion of the game, oh man, it will be something else. It will seriously be something else. Especially if it's still bad enough that I'm still able to try to stuck with the forms of the keyboard controls as opposed to my GameCube controller, which I still need to plan this out until whenever we get to the towards the very end of the game, and I'm sure enough I'm able to actually get accustomed to. So anyway, so let's go in and explore some more new rooms and all that stuff. There's some rooms we have not explored yet, so hopefully we would be able to actually just find the giant spearman as long as due time. And I wonder what's through in here. Okay, so it's just more coins, more blocks, more vases, and all that stuff. And I'm quite surprised that we haven't come across into any, well, we've already, well, it's kind of hard to explain about this sometimes, because I know it has been quite a few days since I actually did manage to touch this game, so ever since on the forms of Friday the 11th of June and all that stuff. So anyways, let's jump from block to block, and then just trying to grab some more coins upon doing so. And I think that pretty much takes care of it from here. And let's see what's in here. Just even more coins from over there. And I get the feeling... oh shoot, it's this part again. I'm so sick of this part, but thankfully we managed to make it, so awesome. And here's the giant spearman again, so let's ground pound in, and oh, there's a silver coin! Oh! I was literally a meter away! Oh well. Dang it. I was expecting if I was gonna grab that during time, but of course the game essentially gonna make me stand completely still after defeating that giant spearman, but oh well, no big deal. Alright, let's see what number it is this time. Is it gonna be 7 again? Wow, it's gonna be literally 7 again. I'm quite surprised right there. Especially noticeable how the fact that that number does not change at all. So, okay then. I'm gonna be fine with that. Oh man, that is so weird. That is seriously weird. Oh yeah, and another thing that I suppose that I, or Sonic, or even Mighty hasn't mentioned about this either, thankfully, oh yeah, I'll get to more in a second, Story 4, go through the Grand Hall. So meaning that we can able to explore the rest of the Grand Hall. So, let's go and do that. So yeah, another thing's worth noting for is the fact that the Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, the final, chapter that's actually been, revealed, well, at least ever since about, quite a few weeks ago, actually. And, well, I'm quite surprised. I'm finally glad that it's actually over. Well, don't get me wrong, I do think the story is good, but the gameplay, not so much. It's not my cup of tea, because it's more accurately, like, a different kind of game compared to what I'm used to in the Kingdom Hearts games, like Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3, and, also some other, side games as well, like 350 over 2 days, Birth by Sleep, and you name the rest. So, yeah, at least I'm glad that the actual game itself is over now. Well, at least as far as whatever I heard some consumers in, Japan and, North American translation or something like that. But, either way, though, that I'm very happy that game was actually over for storytelling. Although, it is interesting still, but I'm just not a big fan of the gameplay. That's my honest opinion with the forms of how that game plays out to be. So, but still, to me, that I personally think that I'm probably not going to touch that game ever again in my life because of the forms of... well, I'm pretty much still stuck on quest number 500, and it's just like, it never ends. Although, to be fair, for the story progression's sake, and as far as I'm aware, well, I'm probably not going to spoil the final boss of the game, just because I'll let you guys find out for yourself. Especially noticeable that, as far as I'm aware, that, the English players might not actually make it that point just yet, though, until, well, I have no idea. It has been a while since I actually did manage to look up on Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. But at least Dark Road is still up and running, because obviously that was the most recent game on the smartphones, just because around the same time as when Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory came out in 2020 for, you know, Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and even PC as well. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on the PC version, I'm presuming. Well, at least I wasn't paying attention still, just because obviously I managed to play some other games from time to time. So, yeah, I might be biased for that, so... Now, I suppose that I forgot to mention about this during the course of the last video is that apparently, though, speaking of the other games specifically, that you notice about the fact that we've only got about a month left until specifically The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD for the Switch is about to be coming out. And most people complain about the forms of, not only for the sake of the forms of how the fact that it's a slightly better game than the Wii game, but despite the forms of some graphical overhauls might be almost identical to the Wii counterparts, aside from, you know, the resolution is higher up and everything. But, usually, relatively speaking, is the fact that what most people usually bothers them is the fact that, well, at least specifically in Skyward Sword HD, as far as pricing is concerned, it is ridiculously overpriced. Like, compared to the forms of another remastered game called Sonic Colors Ultimate on the PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One/Xbox Series X, and even Epic Store on PC, because basically that game does have a much more better visuals than the ones in the original Wii version of the game. Don't get me wrong, I still find the game amazingly good. Even on the Nintendo Wii, it looks super amazing, even for visual departments and all that stuff. But usually because of that, though, it's now coming out on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and Nintendo Switch, even for the first time ever on Microsoft and Sony players now finally experience Sonic Colors for reals. Like, I've already mentioned about this before already, and I'm sure enough that some Toy Sales has already mentioned about this, at least on Banjo-Kazooie, and also, well, Super Monkey Ball and stuff like that, so... And also, what makes the, Sonic Colors Ultimate, worth it is the actual pricing, because it's just basically like a port or a remastered version of Sonic Colors, the original, with, added, visual identity, along with, 60 frames per second on the PS4 version and the Xbox One version, and, also same applies to the PC version as well. And even they might actually create some cool mods out there into it at some point in the future, whilst the PC version of Sonic Colors will be releasing at some point for Sonic Colors Ultimate. So I'm very curious to see what the actual mods are going to be like. So, like, maybe like importing Mario in Sonic Colors or something? I'm actually very curious about that, because either way though, it might actually be the most interesting mod, well, at least as far as I can tell for that point, so... I have no idea why he's sniffing like that, because even then though, I was expecting if I was gonna fetch myself my juice, but I'll save it up whenever I finish up with this, this commentary first, so yeah, it might actually take me some time, so... Yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and get frozen up and just send all the way back to the left, and then just continue our progression here. So I get the feeling that the treasure room is gonna be on the same room as in the end of the level. So that might be seems of a coincidence. We're able to come across into not only the treasure room over there, but the goal itself is on the right as well. So before we get into the goal, we need to hit into the left and break those blocks and enter this door. And basically, that gives us straight into the forms of the treasure room itself. So, yeah, pretty cool to able to actually bump into that. So, let's just go and once again pay 100 coins again. And this time, we're looking for this little fellow over here. So, alright, let's see. I bet he was actually on, actually, I think it's on the 5th slot. Yep, there we go. It's kind of hard to think about it, even if we're able to try to focusing on this, and then... Oh, did we somehow got a paintbrush? That almost reminds me like an Epic Mickey vibe to it. Well, despite I found Epic Mickey games to be... Well, the only one I don't mind is Power of Illusion, but... The other two games, though, it just bores me to death. I must be honest here. But anyway, let's go ahead and deal with this another, you know, number matching game again. So, let's see what number is it going to be this time around, though. It will not be the same one I'm hoping for, but, at least we get something, alright? Like, let's just say 5 or 6. And I think the answer is it's definitely 6. If all these panels have been used, basically it just chooses the answer for you straight away. So you can't like pick any of those numbers. So yeah, that's something worth noting for. So anyway, so now we got ourselves our 29th picture panel right here. So we've literally got 21 panels to go. So either way, let's move on to the final story, and that is to kick them out. So, just trying to not trying to conquer Wario's castle ever again. So, yeah, that seems a bit of a coincidence, huh? So yeah, because, exponentially speaking, this is by far the shortest, well, if you're ever able to play the game, if you're trying to do a speedrun or something, then this might actually be one of the shortest, games to play through if you're trying to do a, you know, speedrun, and even especially noticeable if you're trying to go for that ending. So, it can be a bit of an opportunity right there to actually just to realize that it might be a bit odd, though, if we managed to able to do this as in the first part of the playthrough. I mean, that would be weird, right? But I digress. But yeah, there's not much else I can honestly try to talk about at this point, guys. I really would like to mention more about the forms of, you know, the actual Nintendo announcements, but we're gonna have to wait until tomorrow. So either way though, but again, I don't mind it at all, especially noticeable it's once again gonna be hosted on Tuesday as opposed to on Saturday or Sunday, because that will not work. So that's fine by me, I suppose. But either way, I bet there might be something in the forms of that particular door I was looking for, which actually might give me the forms of some little coins and goodies and all that stuff, but I somehow got drunk. Well, not literally drunk, because getting drunk is quite bad, but specifically with all these little critical conditions and all that stuff. So, but yeah, let's not talk about that right now, because obviously we're gonna have to, like, deal with this here. There we go. I think that's how you're supposed to do it anyway. So either way though, we'll go ahead and head back up and then just try to enter that door as we manage to able to bust out these enemy blocks from earlier on. And trying to crouch and then just trying to grab some more coins from that Wario coins. And well, just trying to swim back into, well, trying to go back up again. So yeah, I'm very surprised about the fact that we actually win breezing for this game quite fast though. Even especially noticeable despite the fact that there's still more things to come. But either way though, I have no idea why I just get rid of that enemy over there. Even though, mind you, I always keep on thinking of another room that is like self-explanatory. But usually that maybe seems the case. And I get the feeling that we do need to acquire tiny Wario power-up in order to or the transformation I should say, to able to make it up there. But tell you what, let me just leave the room and then try to re-enter the room back in, so that way I could potentially go ahead and try that segment again and make sure to just cast a spell, and there we go. And then we should able to grab some more coins from over there. So yeah, that's literally how that goes. So nothing special in that room, I'm afraid, but it knows what it is for the most part. So anyway, so let's go and continue, because we're pretty much done with that for now. And I get the feeling that the treasure room is going to be somewhere nearby, like somewhere in the next room. So at least I'm guessing that correctly. So, and we do need to acquire a duck-like enemy, or some sort of like a seagull enemy like this, that's in order able to, like, not only... Ah, oh, dang it, these blocks gets in my way. Come on, there we go. Oh, what the heck? Yeah, you're supposed to wait until when Wario eventually picks it up. That's the only key factor I can able to think of, so I wasn't paying attention to that at all. So anyway, let's toss it over there, so that way we can able to fit for the gap. Ah, son of a biscuit. I somehow got knocked back, but that's okay, because since we activate the actual the hole that we can able to hopefully crouch through, and then trying to do the same thing on the left. Oh, really? That always aggravates me for that knockback. But, hopefully, let's go on the one on the right first. So that way I can get more coins from the right, and I don't think there's anything in there, so we'll just, well, continue at this point. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and crouch here, and then, son of a biscuit. But at least I did manage to deal out with you. So, anyway, alright, so let's go into this next room, and yeah, this is the room I was thinking of, and we need to go on to the third little hole over there that does manage to feature coins to able to actually go into the treasure room, because I say that, because it does sort of reminds me of a, oh, lucky me. Anyway, because yeah, similar to the forms of Chapter 1 and Story 5, you know, with dealing with the giant snake and such, this room does remind me of a similar room as in the forms of Chapter 1 in Story 5, except the fact that it's no longer going to be in darkness mode, so instead it's all brightened up. So, let's go on normal again, and hopefully we're able to success this. So, and we're looking for this little chumpy right here, so let's see. I think he was on the third box, so there we go. But usually kind of think about it, we've almost done with the forms of the treasure minigames like this, because exponentially, that's, and so whenever we get into the forms of the next 4 playthroughs of the game, then we can expect we're able to actually get those done in due time. Well, at least for the most part anyway, so, yeah, that's pretty much it from here. So, either way, now let's go ahead and find the boss room. So, I believe the boss room is going to be, well, after bypassing these sections here, while doing with those annoying birds. Seriously, those birds are outright against me. But anyway, I get the feeling that, well, if we keep on going down for a bit, if that's the only solution. Oh, there it is. Talk of the devil when it comes to the forms of boss doors, but before we deal with the actual boss in the forms of this chapter, we need to grab even more coins, so that way we'll get ourselves 368 coins to be more specific. So I was expecting to get myself 370, but oh well, no big deal. So here's Captain Syrup again, except now she does have a different contraption. So this meaning that we have to deal with this. Oh, dang it! Yeah, if you somehow get caught right there, like if you manage to get grabbed by this little weird robotic thing right there, you basically get tossed out, so. But at least this boss might be a bit easier though than the forms of how it does it on the first Captain Syrup fight, so. Yeah, it's gonna have to keep on jumping over to this little guy over there, and basically, the more you do them, then he will get exhausted if you manage to able to walk slowly from time to time. So, and then as soon as you're able to goes completely stops, then basically, Captain Syrup will be able to actually regenerate him, and basically, as soon as they regenerate it, or she regenerates him, basically it's your chance to able to attack his face, or in this case, the robot's face, and then I think you're gonna have to do it like, I would say 3 times on him. Well, I would say 2, actually, because as soon as he turns red, it's your chance to able to actually just not only just trying to able to punch him to stun him, but also we're also able to deal with the last hit, but he forms of, well, I would say only 1 hit point when it comes to Captain Syrup herself. And I somehow managed to get knocked, but that's okay, because I'm still in the actual battle, so either way though, we're just gonna have to keep on jumping over him. So just in case you don't need to able to restart the whole entire fight again, which that'll be a nightmare if you manage to able to do all that. So yeah, you just do that, and then basically it's your chance to able to toss him right at Captain Syrup herself. And then if you're trying to do it like I just did there, then sure enough, she's down, and well, we've beaten the game for the second time. Well, technically speaking, the second ending portion, because as I said, there are multiple endings of the game. So because of that, we ended up only forms of the second ending, of course. So yeah, that seems kind of makes it obvious right there. So either way though, before we end this off, we'll just go and deal with this particular minigame again. And it looks like it's going to be 3, is it? Yeah, it's definitely going to be 3, because I can see that little familiar number. So 3 as it goes by. And there we go, we can unlock the 30th piece right here, so we got 20 pieces to go until our map is fully completed. So yeah, we're actually getting really close. So anyways, let's go and see the forms of the second ending for Wario Land 2. And it involves around, well, Wario just managed able to kick out, you know, Captain Syrup, along with the forms of her minions, and then, you know, she's going like, Captain Syrup goons blasting off again! Kind of syndrome again, except the fact that, well, it doesn't go into the Sparkle Star or anything, so, and then the actual logo's changed into Wario now, and Wario somehow is gonna go back to sleep. So, yeah, that's ending number 2. So I'll meet you guys, or at some point in the future, for the next playthrough. So I'll see you guys until